Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Want to make a quick video. Did a serious wiring upgrade to my truck today. I had to go to the doctor this morning, dentist, get some work done on my mouth. It's a little rough. So anyways, I got back from that. Now I'm here, and I stopped into my local stereo store and picked up some serious wire. So you can see out with the old. Remember, guys, I had all this weird son of a gun stuff going on. I had like 8 gauges hooked to 5 gauges and plugged to this and hooked to that because that's what I had in my garage. You know, I had a couple runs. I had a 2-gauge ground on there, and I had a couple other things, but it was kind of pointless. I had my 2-gauge ground, as you can see, all cut down to nothing because I only got a 4-gauge input onto my one big amp. So I got rid of that, and I went ahead and put 4-gauge on instead of this 2-gauge that's cut down to 4-gauge because it's kind of pointless, right? So anyways, I'll run through here with you what I did real quick. I haven't even listened to it or turned it on yet. As you can see, I'm a sweaty mofo. It's hotter than the hubs of hell in this place, and I don't care. I'm working on this anyway. So anyways, here we go. Here's what we did, guys. Got my Alpine up here. I used to have 10-gauge power wire on that Alpine 500, and I thought that was a little ridiculous. So I went ahead and got me some 4. Put the 4-gauge into the little connectors that you can't see right now. I got me some 4-gauge on that, and my ground wire comes from right here on my amp to right there, literally, that far. I took a battery terminal for a car battery, you know, a top post one, put a piece of stainless steel in it. I cleaned the hell out of this. There's a little ring here that my seat bolts to, and it's like 3/8 of an inch thick, so it's heavy duty stuff, you know. I cleaned that ring up, and then I attached that to it with a piece of stainless steel inside of it after I sanded the crap out of everything. So I got a serious ground for this Alpine now. That's like 10 inches long. Then I go down here to my audio pipe amp, and I got on him, we also got a 4-gauge. Because that's all the terminals will accept on the amp is a 4-gauge, so it's overkill to try to go any bigger than that. Then I also have a 4-gauge ground that comes off the amp right here and goes right directly to this 18mm bolt, which I clean the living shit out of and put a real nice connector on the end of that wire. So I got a serious ground here that's like 8-10 inches long. Then you get down here, you can see this power distribution block, which I picked up for a song and a dance. And it's actually supposed to have fuses in it over here. The power is supposed to come in this side, and it's got a little gauge for the voltage readout, and then you run your power out through these fuses. But they don't even make fuses bigger than 60 amps for this size, and this is serious stuff here. So what I did was I run a 4-gauge straight out of this, and then I got my ZErO gauge that runs out of the distribution block into a 175 amp fuse and runs right directly straight to this battery in the back, okay? And then I also got ZErO gauge ground. It runs right straight down here to this bolt that bolts the door on. And I also clean the crap out of that so that it's super duper clean underneath. And this is super clean. This is super clean. The bottom of the bolt's clean. This is new. So that's got an awesome ground then with a ZErO gauge going to this battery. So I got my top amp grounded within 9 inches. My bottom amp grounded within 9 inches. Both to super heavy terminals on the side. And I got a ZErO gauge ground running right here off my battery. And then I still got a couple of little grounds tagged in, like for my relay to turn my stuff on, and my line driver. I got that on the ground still. And then, of course, I got my power running to the front here. I got this 1/6 gauge that runs all the way to the front, goes to the front battery, and it's got a 100 amp fuse in it. And I hook that to the battery, okay, right into the terminal with the big OT gauge. It goes over here. And then I took my other 6-gauge that has a 100 amp fuse on it, and I ran that up into this power distribution block. So these amps are drawing off of a 275 amp capable load with 175 here and another 100 coming in over there. So that's 275 amps worth of return we've got for our power to go back to the batteries. So it should be really ridiculous now that I've got OT gauge and 4-gauge everywhere. And really short grounds. And a lot of sweat. So, anyways, I'm going back in the house and clean up a little bit. cool out, chill out before I go out and take my ride and test this thing out. But I'm assuming it's going to be a whole lot louder than it was. And also, one more thing I figured out, guys. My camera's not junk. Woohoo! The reason I wasn't catching any flex was because I'm stupid and I didn't know how. Once I figured out that I faced into the sunlight with my other camera, that's why I caught the flex. It doesn't catch any flex any better than this camera does. I was just in better position. So I'm going to try it again with this 720p camera this afternoon with the sun facing at me so that I see the reflection. And I think that's going to help me catch flex. So we'll see, guys. I'll show you here in a little bit when I get my ride going. I'm going in cool out for a bit. It's hotter than bloody blue blazes here in Illinois. I don't know how it is in the rest of the country, but man, it's terrible here. So, have a good afternoon, guys. Peace out. I'm going to go booming here in a minute and see how this monster works out.